New faces in new places. That's the scoop in the Pioneer League hoops scene. So, can a change of scenery for one coach or a little shakeup in the offseason routine from another add some check marks in the win column? Plus, the South High soccer team kicks off their campaign to get back to a CIF championship game appearance. They say you got to take it one game at a time. So, we're going to start with the season opener. And at El Camino College, a disappointing season a year ago may be in the past, but it doesn't mean the experienced Lady Warriors will be forgetting the lessons they learned last winter. All that's coming up and more. It's another week on the Sports Desk. Happy holidays, Torrance. As you can see, we're getting a little festive right here on the Sports Desk. And another calendar year is just about in the books also. We're right in the thick of the holiday season with plenty to celebrate as we're easing our way into winter sports with a little bit of winter weather recently. About as winter as SoCal weather gets, I guess. Nonetheless, a little bit of rain and these crazy sub-60 temps aren't putting a damper on Paul Nataki's first season coaching the Torrance Tartars. Whether he's on campus passing students in the halls or with his team at practice, Paul Nataki's teaching and coaching career really does make him a full-time Tartar now. Valerie Ortega has that story.
Paul Nataki is the new head coach of the boys basketball team. He's been a teacher at Torrance, but now he's seeing what it feels like to coach for the Tartars.
It's fantastic. I love the kids on campus. They're fun. Let's see. I don't know. I'm also a club sponsor, like hip hop club, Bible club, Filipino club. Very active, and just the kids on campus are just really a joy to be around. They're fun, upbeat, and they have a lot of school spirit.
Paul Nataki previously coached at another high school in Torrance, but it wasn't just any other high school. It was the Tartars' rival, West High.
It was always tough commuting from West and Torrance. It's nice to finally have a home because I see these kids every day. And I always felt torn going to sporting events, cheering for West, cheering for Torrance. And I felt a little bit out of place, but now that I'm here and I have a centralized location, I see all the kids every day at lunch, and it's just very nice to be at one spot.
And it just so happened that Torrance played West in their third game of the season.
Honestly, it was really weird at first. Even warming up, seeing the kids shoot, every time I'd make eye contact with some of my former players, they would just look and smile, and it just weird being on the other side, But at the same time, the kids I have now in my locker room, hardworking, dedicated, and I see the passion in their eyes, so it was really fun to compete against them in this last tournament.
Last year, West dominated Torrance in a 62-23 win. This year, with Paul Nataki as their coach, the Tartars beat West by 5 points and also won themselves a party.
Honestly, I was a little bit nervous. I told my kids if we found a way to win, we would have a party, so I owe my kids a party now.
It's really cool. It's more modern, more fast-paced. We can relate to him a lot more because he's been playing a lot more recently. So, yeah, we like it. It's more fun.
I like him a lot, and it's kind of cool because we have a young coaching staff, so it's easier for us players to relate to him, so I like how it's going right now.
Since Nataki took over the program in the summer, the boys have already seen improvements in the team's play.
The improvement in our guys is a lot better. We can see them from summer until now. It's a huge difference. It shows in our record and the way we've been playing.
Our team has a lot of inexperience going into season, but the way we've been showing in practice and in games, I think we're making big improvements every day, and I'm excited for this year.
Corey isn't the only one excited for this year. His young coach is also excited for this basketball season.
I know Torrance has come off a 5-win season last season, so we really hope to turn things around in a hurry. So, but we're really excited. The spirit on campus, like I said, is phenomenal. Cheerleading squad is going to be here every game. We hope to fill the seats in this arena and make basketball fun here at Tartar Nation.
After working at 2 different schools these past 3 years, Coach Nataki is happy to have one home here at Torrance. He's the chemistry teacher and the head basketball coach who's looking to bring some basketball spirit to the Tartar Nation. From Torrance, this is Valerie Ortega reporting for the Sports Desk.
Thanks for that, Valerie. So, as you can tell, things looking on the up and up at Torrance High. Nataki has his work cut out for him, taking over a program that finished 5th in the Pioneer League just a year ago. He's definitely qualified to turn things around, though. In his tenure as West Hoops coach, the Warriors improved every season, literally step by step, advancing deeper into the postseason in consecutive years before bowing out in last year's CIF quarterfinals. And it goes without saying, the Tartars will have plenty of competition to get there. Another Torrance team that'll be standing in their path, also with a little off-season shakeup, is the North Saxons. You hear of crazy conditioning programs all the time. Football players taking ballet classes, surfers training for mixed martial arts. The list is endless of things athletes will do to hone their skills for their sport by doing something completely random. So for Saxons coach Luke Duperon, when it came to getting ready for the 2013-2014 campaign, nothing was off limits for the off-season conditioning.
Most young athletes spend their summer vacation relaxing and enjoying the many events South Bay has to offer. Not Coach Duperon and his players. They spent their off-season preparing for the upcoming season.
I love to train, so we did a lot of beach runs. We did a lot of working out in the sand at the beach, a lot of plyometrics. We also did the Jordan workout, which is a 4-day-a-week program through plyometrics that they've been doing. And then we also weight train 3 days a week. So they've been working extremely hard outside the gym along with inside the gym.
I don't even know if you could take our workouts like into that. We're training like pro athletes, honestly. We ran marathons, that type of running. We did lifting like professional bodybuilders and plyos and shooting and everything like pros do. We're just trying to hold ourselves to a level of excellence. One thing that we've seen in the beginning of season, the early part of season, is just the ability to turn over the ball less. But it's the beginning of the year, so kids are nervous to play as a unit on offense, and then just to continue to be strong on defense.
A year ago, when Gary Duperon passed the sports torch to his son, he had one thing in mind: becoming a champion. Last season, the team fell short in the first round of the playoffs against Hart. He's now focused on the future and hopes to do something no coach has been able to do for this North High program: lead the boys basketball team to their first ever CIF championship.
Oh man, I grew up at this high school since I was in 3rd grade, so to get a CIF championship and to be a player here, coach the son here, to be an assistant coach here, and then now to be a head varsity coach, it would be very fulfilling to win a CIF championship, and it would mean a lot to win it with these kids that are working so hard.
I'm going to wish them best luck, and I hope that they do that. I'm going to be there for them the whole time, and they put it together. Again, they have the potential to do that, but they got to play their best every game and be committed to doing things correctly and not only being great players, but great people.
The coach isn't the only one with high hopes. The senior captain would love to win a trophy before leaving to play at the college level.
I don't even think I can explain it, like all those summers, all those springs, all the hard work, all the miles we ran, all the weights we lifted. You can't even really put it in perspective of how enjoyable that would be.
So beach workouts definitely working for the Saxons so far, as they've had a hot start to the winter season, gearing up for Pioneer League play that'll begin middle of January. And speaking of hot starts, I don't really know that we can call it a hot start at Bishop Montgomery, considering they won about 30 games to start last season and didn't lose one until the 3rd round of the CIF playoffs. Nonetheless, they're doing okay again. For the 3rd year in a row, the Knights capture Westchester's Trevor Ariza Tip-Off Classic. Senior point guard Justin Bibbins won the preseason tourney's MVP honors with his 28-point effort against the host Westchester, and the Knights are off to another solid start to their season. That win moves them to 5-0 again. Taking a quick break here. When we come back, we step out into the cold. Remember, this is Southern California kind of cold we're talking about. 2 soccer squads getting things started on the pitch. One coach torturing himself with the memories of a season-ending loss a year ago. Time to exercise some demons.
Here we are, 2013. We all depend on technology to communicate, to bank, and none of us know how to read and write code.
The first program I wrote asked things like, what's your favorite color? Or how old are you?
I wrote a program to play tic-tac-toe.
I first learned how to make a green circle and a red square appear on the screen.
You're just trying to make something, trying to transfer something from your mind to the computer or to a tablet. It's it's an experience.
The whole limit in the system is just that there just aren't enough people who are trained and have these skills today.
The programmers of tomorrow are the wizards of the future. You know, you're going to look like you have magic powers compared to everybody else.
Great coders are today's rock stars. That's it.
Hi, I'm Chris Burke, an actor who happens to have Down syndrome. Join me in watching some great stories about inspiring people with Down syndrome.
My name is Annie.
I'm a Salem Barlow.
I'm Margaret.
Serena.
Jake Alvo.
And this is my
great story.
This is my great story. You can watch at ndss.org/stories.
Hi, Torrance. Welcome back to the Sports Desk. Recently, we introduced you to this winter's boys soccer squad at South High. Their storyline for the year, it's pretty straightforward. They caught fire at the perfect time last season and turned so many heads in the CIF playoffs that they'll have a bullseye on their backs all year long, fighting to get back to the CIF championship game. Now, the mark of a quality team in any sport is having that exact expectation to win, but the really special programs don't just expect to win and take each W for granted, which is why even on day one, the Spartans are grading their own performance one game at a time.
The mystery of season openers. Not quite sure what to expect, but all you can do is hope that 1, you have prepared as much as possible, and 2, well, if you haven't, that you figure out how to find your rhythm sooner than later.
I think it took us a bit to sort of find our rhythm and start to click. It was a typical first game. There was some good and some bad, and the nice thing is we did enough and got the goals in the end.
Although the Spartans were able to put the ball in the back of the net, it wasn't exactly how Coach Lagerwey was hoping his offense would perform their first time out there.
We were pretty poor actually in the first half, and we really kind of just relied on guys dribbling and the rest of the guys standing around looking at each other. But again, you know, our focus to this point has been try to be organized defensively, and then we'll go from there.
Offense might be next on the list to work on for this South High team, but breaking it down, the Spartans were fairly pleased with their performance on the defensive side of the ball.
Well, last year we had a ton of seniors, so it was a little iffy coming in, losing all our back line basically, but I feel like we played really strong, really disciplined as a team, especially for a young back line and young team.
I thought Asher did quite well in goal. I thought the back line was quite good. We said at halftime, I thought the best thing we did was we were organized and we did keep our shape.
There is one person who sees the field like no one else. Either the last man the ball has to get past, or the furthest man from the ball when his team scores. That's why goalkeeper Asher Stratton takes his role seriously and knows he has to not only be the eyes, but the voice of the team in green.
In soccer, a lot of times, just being loud is not... all it has is just an intimidation factor, if anything, but also organization. A lot of times the guys can't see everything like I can. I see the whole field. When they, if I don't call something out and there's a player behind them, it can go through. So it's a lot of organization, making sure that they, even if they know it's there, just to make sure to cover for them.
Both teams had chances at times, and it wasn't always pretty, but South was able to come out on top 3-1 and take lessons away from today's game that they can continue to build on in practice.
I think continuing to talk about shape and being difficult to break down, I think it always starts with that for us. That's sort of always the way that we've tried to play, and then clearly we need to be a little bit more dynamic and more just more smooth and connected in the attack.
We just need to get organized as a team to build our shape, because today I think we were just all over the place, just not enough communication. I think we just need to work on that.
Probably the second step to a ball, we did well stepping to it for the first man, but a lot of times we would let them out because the second guy wasn't there. So overall, I think we did really well though. So that's small little things to work on going into season later on.
And back to practice the Spartans will go, getting geared up to head across town to face the Warriors for a highly anticipated rivalry this week. From South High School, I'm Haley Outen for the Sports Desk.
Thanks for that, Haley. So while the boys at South spent the offseason preparing to keep the momentum they ended last year with, on the opposite side of the spectrum, the ladies of Bishop Montgomery have spent all that time learning from their mistakes, because sometimes ending the season with a loss will teach you more than finishing on top.
Season-ending injuries and lack of experience were two factors that weighed down the Knights soccer team last year. But the past is history, and Coach Haynes prepared his squad for a new start.
Well, the season's never over for the coach. You always have that that last game in your mind, especially if it's a loss. So pretty much I just thought about our weaknesses and what we can improve upon. I thought conditioning would be a good one, a little more ball movement, and just a little more continuity throughout the players, just having them stay together, play a little bit more in the off-season.
Some of the players noticed their own weaknesses and focused on them during the off-season.
We definitely added core strength and arm strengthening. I think that was something we lacked last year. We lacked bodily strength, even though we were technical players. We've definitely gained a lot of strength this year just because we've been working out so much in the weight room.
This fall we focused a lot on trying to get fit for the season, and now since we're going into preseason, we're focusing a lot more on working with the ball and our touches and our formation.
To train for season, the girls played club soccer or with Bishop, but freshman Cara Montilla tried something different. She had the opportunity to work out with the Filipino national team.
It actually happened early this year. We had a tryout for camp, and I guess they put me on the roster and I'm on the team. It's definitely an honor to play for my country. Yeah, we play against Indonesia, all those Asian countries. I guess we're playing this tournament to qualify for the FIFA World Cup, so hopefully we'll make it in there.
The team is hoping to capitalize on these intense workouts during the off-season on top of playing club soccer in order to prepare for their challenging league ahead of them.
Hopefully we could get first or second in league and get to at least the third round in the playoffs. We have a tough league. Amont went to the finals 3 years in a row, won twice, lost once, and St. Joseph's is always ranked in the top 10 in Division III. So right off the bat, we have a tough league, so I think that'd be a good challenge. If we come in the top 2, then that means we'll be in top 10 in Division III, so we should do well in the playoffs.
Okay, break number 2 right now. Up next, West High back on the mat and in dominant form once again, while the El Camino women's basketball team prepares themselves for a new season in the FCC.
Training is about more than muscle. It's about inner strength. So I push myself. That's why I serve in the United States Coast Guard. I train with the best, a team that shares my drive and commitment. We collect intelligence, guard our shores against drug smugglers, and keep our waterways safe, because our nation expects more.
If you expect more, maybe you were born ready. Find out at GoCoastGuard.com.
I never cared much for moonlit skies. I never wink back at fireflies. But now that the stars are in your eyes, I'm beginning to see the light.
Hi, I'm Kelly O'Hara, here to support my good friend and consummate musician, Stephen Blyer, and the countless others who suffer from FSHD muscular dystrophy. FSHD, the most common form of muscular dystrophy, is a lifelong progressive loss of all skeletal muscles.
I have FSHD and I hope we find a cure soon so I can be stronger and faster. Give with your whole heart so they can find a cure real soon.
Fireflies, but now that the stars are in your eyes, I'm beginning to see the light.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Sports Desk. We've got one more story for you this week, but before we jump on that, let's follow a couple other things going on in winter sports right now. First up, a few Torrance wrestling squads mixing it up at West High Brute Warrior Invitational. West, Torrance, and South all on hand with the Warriors taking their 5th consecutive title in their own tournament. Yoshi Funakoshi, he'll be West's headliner this year after competing for last year's CIF state tournament title. Took the lower weight MVP honors with a pin in the final at 126 pounds. One of the wrestlers to look out for at Torrance High, CJ Pastano, he notched a W for the Tartars in his 112-pound weight class. Now, up in the JUCO world and back on the court, we're going to play a little game of Who Said It. I've missed almost 9,000 shots in my career, lost almost 300 games, 26 times I've been trusted to take the game-winning shot and missed. I failed over and over again in my life, and that's why I succeeded. So, who said it? Michael Jordan's probably the last person you'd think of missing 9,000 shots, but he's proof to the belief that there's no such thing as failure, only success in finding what doesn't work. It's also the same attitude the El Camino Warriors are carrying into this season, with the veteran squad looking to turn things around this winter.
After a tough season last year with the Warriors only picking up 6 wins, Elko is determined to improve and already off to an impressive start this season.
We didn't really expect. We just came out and played. We've been working hard since over the summer, and I just think that we have a new system this year, so I think we didn't expect it, but we did a really good job starting off.
I think we have way more energy, and I know with we have 5 returners, and we weren't really happy with how last season went, so we're more determined to do better than last year.
A big factor to the Warriors' success, having seasoned vets leading the team and helping the freshmen get acclimated to a college environment.
I just try to help everyone with whatever they need help with and try to push people, especially if they're playing my position, to try and get them to be better. And if they're down, I just try and get them back up.
As leaders, we just want to make them feel like they belong here, and that they don't want, if they make a mistake, we don't want them to feel like, oh, I'm going to be benched or something.
And one thing the leaders and captains have emphasized this year is team chemistry, on and off the court.
It starts off the court because we have to have a good communication between everyone, and we blend together well. If you get to know each other off the court, then you know how each other are on the court too.
And it not only off the court, but it comes on the court, and we call ourselves the Wolf Pack.
This is a great group of how they've come together, and they're really concerned about each other and playing together for each other.
While the Lady Warriors are off to an impressive and promising start, they know they have a lot of basketball left ahead of them, and they need to continue improving through conference play when the games really matter.
Before each game, we're just focused on that game, you know? So after a win, after a loss, we celebrate a little bit, or sometimes we put our head down, but then after that, it's just next game.
We're just gonna keep the positivity. The chemistry, of course, is really important, and that's really a big thing, the chemistry. And I just think we just keep working hard in practice and staying focused.
Our players are really driven to keep working and they're not content with where they're at right now. Sometimes teams have early success and they think, oh, well, we've shown that we're good and now it doesn't really matter. I don't think they're satisfied with that. They really are driven to be as successful as they can be.
With all the drive, talent, and chemistry on this Warriors team, expectations are naturally set high.
We have room to progress, to get better, so we just have to keep that in mind. Conference champs, that's what we want.
Our goal really is conference championship, and so we're building up towards January to be playing our best basketball of the year at that point.
Our coach is really pushing us because he knows we have potential to win state or conference and everything. So I think that's what we're looking forward to.
Thanks for that, Jenny. Now throwing out a reminder to everybody to catch up with us online. Our Facebook page has videos from the show, photos when reporters are out covering all these features you see around town. It's all there, so check us out at facebook.com/thesportsdesktv. All right, everybody, that wraps up another week on The Sports Desk. When we see you next time, we'll be just one more week closer to the new year.